go do the USA L1 USAW strength and conditioning cert, and it was $400, and it was the best thing I ever did in my life because I didn't understand weightlifting or anything or biomechanics or biomechanics or anything. So these people are great. They're based out of Bridgewater, Mass. RWL weightlifting. She's this Dr. Ellen is this badass lady. She's probably stronger than all of us in here. And she was unbelievable. So if anybody, doesn't have a certain strength and conditioning or they want to brush up, the USA course is really, really good. So I always, anytime I'm talking to guys about O-line development and everything, I mean, we all know it starts in the weight room, whether it's high school or college. You can teach all the technique you want, you can teach all the scheme you want, but if you don't have the guys that are strong enough to do the proper techniques, it's great. So I mean, again, the RWL, they're awesome people. Where is it? They literally just send you this little thing, this little schedule. They tell you what you're gonna do. And it was me and my buddy, who's the head coach at Worcester State actually now, Adam Peliquin. We did it, and it was awesome. It took us literally a day and a half out in Westboro, Mass. So I recommend any of you guys do that if you don't have a strength cert. But where we go first? Biggest thing that I'll start off with is just culture. So I mean, I'm going on year 10. I'm going on year 10. RPI was the first place in my coaching career that I coached 2 seasons at in a row. But I've still built really good relationships. My first time coaching was at Plymouth State in 2012, and I still talk to a bunch of those guys weekly. One of my favorite players, he became a Mass State Trooper last week from that 2012 team, and he's more like a brother now than player coach. But when we're getting to know these guys, man, and it's high school or college, you gotta get to know them academically, you gotta get to know them socially, you gotta get to know them athletically. You gotta have realistic expectations for a guy athletically. You can't ask if he's an okay player, you can't go out there and ask him to pass set against some dude 50 times in a game. You can't do that. You gotta have a game plan to their strengths. Socially, you gotta know their family, man. You gotta give them something to know that you care. You know what I mean? I mean that's I think is the biggest thing. Anywhere I've been, I will know the guys' parents' names. I'll know their siblings' names, and I'll know some random thing about them by the time I leave or by the time camp's over. I think that's huge. And then academically, you got to take an interest, especially get to college. I think you got to take an interest in what they're studying. I mean, I'm a state school dude all the way. I got a master's from a state school. I don't know shit about engineering, but I know a lot of stuff about construction. So I used to get along with the civil engineers. I used to get along with the mechies, mechanical engineers, and just having a conversation other than football with them, I think is huge. These are my core beliefs, and I'll take them everywhere I go, and I've added on to them as I've been. And this isn't just clinic talk. I literally breathe this stuff. I'll post it everywhere. Wherever I've coached, I will post this stuff in our O-line manuals, in our room, anything like that. But intensity, physicality, assignment, technique, communication, awareness, poise. I'll go into each one of these, and I will create a definition with our group on what is intensity to the U Albany offensive line. What is physicality to the Curry College O-line. I want us to come up with a group definition, and so it's something that they believe in too. Ownership and empowerment are huge with transparency. I think those 3 things really create a solid coach to player relationship. Here, so anywhere I go, I'm going to tell the guys I want to be the number 1 offensive line in the country, and we're going to have a game plan for it. And I know you guys are like, well, number 1 line in the country, but it's not far off if you're at a place where it can be. And even if you are at a place where it's pretty far off and you're like, hey, man, this isn't realistic, you can tailor it. Hey, I want to be the number 1 offensive line in the conference. We want to be the number 1 offensive line in our division. You know what I mean? But at RPI, I use this every day, and this is the same stuff that I'm already going with the head O-line coach in Albany about. And for instance, these are just our specific goals at RPI. We wanted to go 10 yards more rushing than we did the previous year. We wanted to give up only 9 sacks total. That's less than 1 per regular season game. Again, play with a relentless nastiness and passion. And then ATD. I stress attention to detail in everything we do, whether it's a 10-minute walkthrough on a patio outside our meeting room, whether it's a one-on-one pass rush period. We're going to go over our stance. We're going to go over our checklist, our alignment, our assignment, our stance, our alignment, our assignment, our step. We're going to have a checklist for everything we do. And again, I think a lot of guys sometimes will think this stuff is, clinic talk and everything, but if you preach it and you implement it and you actually hold your guys accountable, if you're in the stretch line and you're asking, hey, what's your checklist pre-snap on inside zone to the right? Hey, what's your pre-snap checklist on 5-step and the slides to the left? You can make this culture, come to life. And I'm not saying I'm the best, and I'm not saying my way is the only way, but the last couple of years, especially, I've had a ton of success with my players, and I had some really good assistant O-line coaches that bought in too. And I think just building this culture and being kind of a psycho when it comes to your culture, I think is huge. I loved my time at RPI, and the biggest thing I learned from RPI was culture. The head coach there brings in a guy named Brian Kane. He's a mental performance coach, and it's almost cult-like. But I will say that the culture at RPI, and I said, you played against it before, and it's a great culture, and I think WPI has a similar thing. But when you're competing against other teams with maybe more talent, there's something's got to be that X factor. And I think if guys are all bought in, especially up front, if they're all bought in and they have that confidence, like, hey, no one's gonna fuck with us today. We're gonna kick some butt. I think that it can be a tremendous asset to you guys. Another thing like this, so toughness, accountability, durability. Again, just things that, and this could be 3 different things for any program and anything you want. I just think this is another way to, again, just drill stuff into your guys' heads that, hey, we're going to be tough, we're going to be accountable, we're going to be durable. It could be, communicate, listen, whatever you want. But if you just have some way of always getting your messages out there, whether it's us sending out installs, whether it's us having a walkthrough, or whether it's guys coming in pre-snap, for the pre-practice or for our meeting, just having stuff visual, so they're always seeing it and you're preaching it. Again, just reinforcing your culture, I think, is huge. And then meeting procedures. I just talked about this the other day. I think with you guys would be great too to talk about. I've been places where we hide the depth chart, and it's like a secret board in the office, and I'm just like, why are we hiding the depth chart? And I get it. Some places don't want to have, they don't want to have the kids know where everybody is, but especially for an offensive line room, it's the most selfless position on the team. If you have an offensive line room where someone's butt hurt that they're not the starting left tackle over so-and-so, you're not going to have a good line, because now there's no depth, there's no trust. So I got to earn trust with my players. And by doing that, every meeting we have the depth chart on the whiteboard, on the projector screen up in our meeting room. You'll see we sit by depth chart. Transparency, that comes right with it. The transparency is guys will know where they are, and you better have a good reason to tell them why they're not the starter or why they're the six man in. You better have a good reason. It better not be some BS reason like, oh, Jimmy, you just got to work on your feet, or you're just not there yet. You got to have some type of reason to give these kids. The technique you're teaching to the guys, it's got to be something that works for the kids. If a kid can't skip pull, you got to teach them something else. If a kid can skip pull, hey, let's take it to another level. Hey, let's try to teach them a shuffle pull. If a kid can't gallop, all right, hey, you got to go old school and get foot to foot on your double teams. You got to be able to teach different techniques, and you got to be able to teach techniques to different levels. And then finally, just communication. Different ways guys learn. Hey, some guys are great watching film on the board. Some guys are better with a walkthrough. My favorite one, and to get guys up and make them open up, is make them lead an install. That's what we do at Albany right now. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we make the guys teach us power, teach us counter, teach us inside zone, teach us 5-step. And you'll be surprised how smart these guys are. And in high school, I think you can still do it. I don't think, especially when you guys are coming from some pretty damn good programs, I think guys can do it. So this is just a room setup, and I know some people are like, dude, you're showing me how to do the room. I think this is huge. I didn't start doing this till 3 years ago. We were at UConn, and JB Grimes was there. He was at Auburn for like 15 years. He's an unbelievable line coach, and I think he retired last year. But we sat like this in the room since I got to RPI, and it was worked wonders. I'm gonna sit with the left tackle facing the group. I know it's on the computer screen because my computer's in front of me. I'm sitting next to my left tackle because he's got to be the dude in the room. Him in the center. Those guys got to be my leaders. They got to be my alpha males. And I want the left tackle to know as much as I know. I want him to be a second coach out there. 2 years ago, we had a senior who was an All-American. And last year, I had a freshman that gave up 1 sack in 11 games. So those two kids are going to be, they're going to be great for them. And then our center is going to be a 4-year starter at RPI. And I think he's given up like 5 sacks in 2 years, or 2.5 years, whatever it is. But I love this. And if you have a good assistant, you got to plug him, hey, you guys sit next to so-and-so today, man. He's struggling, and we need him to be our backup right tackle, man. Like, he needs to be the 6th man. But I just think this is a huge thing. And then if you only have one O-line coach, you got to sit right in the middle, man. And you got to face the board with him, obviously. And now you can engage everybody. You can, call out on guys. But again, I think this is something that's huge. And then this right here. So what do guys love nowadays? They love social media. They love all this bullshit. So I love Photoshop. I'm a nerd. So for instance, like this is Griffin Clancy. He's our left guard. I made this for my interview. And I've done it everywhere I've been though. I'm gonna put the guys on our installs. I'm gonna put them somewhere. I'm gonna make them a cool Photoshop. I'm gonna send them a Photoshop every now and then. Let's say a guy gets halfway through a meeting and it's 20 minutes in and they're just dog bored. They're like, oh man, these guys. You change it. You put this stuff up on the board. Like, all right, hey, we're going over power now. And all of a sudden, the kid sees himself up there looking like a badass. It kind of re-engages them. So just little things like this. This is my pass pro talk. I don't have to go through it all of it. I just want to kind of go over the beginning stuff that I think can help any offensive line with pass pro. These are just tips, and these are things that I've learned in my 10 years. First thing, breaking down opponent's pressure. Do it formationally, do it down distance, do it field zone. And then the biggest thing is every coordinator has a tendency, offense, defense, special teams. Hey, it's third and 6, dude, that boundary pressure is coming, or it's 3rd and long or 2nd and long, they're running some type of stunt. I think if you can find that the defensive coordinator's tendency or personality, I think it's huge. Cadence, having multiple cadences, and you got to practice them from day one. If you try to go on 2 and install it in week 4, you're gonna have 25 offside penalties on a Friday night or Saturday afternoon. You got to start with multiple cadences from day 1 of camp or spring. And then quarterback body routine. This is huge. And at Albany, Joe Davis does an unbelievable job with our quarterback with this. Show the hands and get those guys to rotate. Show stuff early. Quarterback's body routine is huge. If you don't have a set body routine that's non-predictable, that's huge for an offensive line. Stop them getting teed off all the time. Screens, non-predictable downs. It's going to help negate the pass rush early on. And then I love, 1st and 10 starting the drive. I love 1st and 10 screens to start a drive. I think it's great. And then one thing to me that's always really frustrated me, a lot of teams don't like to bring their running back across the protection. So say we got the man sides on the left, but the running back's on the right, and they don't want to bring them over. I don't get it. I think it's huge to move your running back. I've watched teams and I've coached teams where we got blitzed from the back all day and we got creamed, and we didn't want to change it. So I think moving your tailback, whether it's pistol, sidecar, wherever it is, just move them around. We had a call at a couple places where we'd be like, hey, so and so blank, and the running back could line up wherever he wanted. So these are just some pass pro tips that I found over the years. And the last thing I got, this is now I just want to open up to you guys. I have a huge drill list right here. This is all my drills from over the years. My assistant at RPI made it last year for an interview. But I just want to talk, drills with you guys or answer any questions you guys have about anything, about different techniques or anything. So I'm really open up to questions or talk about any type of drills.
I'm looking at your list right now.
You're good. Let me see if I can, I'll move down.
How do you, how do you break down your run, progression? How do drills? Are you going to go into that? Or, just.
Yep. So, we all think about it. Everything that we do is going to finish in a dry block, right? Whether it's outside zone with one hand in the chest, whether it's just an old school, down block, you're going to end up in a dry block position. So I'm going to do old school fit. I'm going to do it on boards. I'm going to do it on towels, but I'm going to start with, we're going to start in the fit. I'm not a head guy. I'm not going to use my head, and I don't want to get sued or fired. So we're always talking about, 2 points of contact. You want to get your face in there on the block, obviously, but I don't say that because I'm not trying to get sued in 2020.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep. But I'm going elbows in, thumbs up, on the breastplate, and we're just going to sit in the fit, and we're going to take steps on the whistle. Then we're going to bring it back where we're going to step to the fit. And I used to be like, all right, 2 steps to the fit, 2 steps. But then I realized guys are different sizes, different heights, different weights, built differently. So we started calling it step to the fit. So it might be 3 steps for somebody. It might be 2 steps for somebody. But we're going to step to the fit, and we're going to have them hold it and make them feel uncomfortable. And then we'll back them off, and I'll do it out of a 2-point stance and out of a 3-point stance. We're gonna go full speed into the fit, and we're gonna drive to the whistle. And then on the second whistle, we're gonna finish. I'm not a big guy. We're teaching guys to bring their hips through. I think it naturally happens. I'm more of the flat back, eyes up fit, like pushing a Buick, and naturally you're gonna bring your hips through eventually when you are finishing the block. When that D tackle goes to try to make a block, I'll make a tackle or whatnot. So I'll start with the regular, fit finish drive stuff. For outside zone, we're a big wide zone team at RPI, and we're a decent outside zone team at Albany. It's the same progression, but I'm an Alex Gibbs wide zone guy, so we're taking 3 steps. So we're going to step to the fit, and we're making a 3-step decision. But our backside hand is our main weapon. We're going to throw that to the via the neck, right in the middle of the sternum, and then if we can reach him, we're going to put our play side hand on that play side bicep. And if he's really fighting hard across our chest, now we're just going to lock out our inside arm and bring our inside hip through, and we're going to watch to the sideline. You watch the San Francisco 49ers, that's all they do now. So I'll do that same progression. I'll go, step to the fit. I'll go, reach. I'll have him just reach a couple times. I'll have the guy fight across a couple times, and then I will make it a live drill where I'll tell the DN to either come inside. I'll do the defensive lineman to, fold inside, and that O lineman's got to get vertical. Or I'll tell that defensive lineman to fight really hard across, and now he's got to throw his inside hand and inside hip and run. The best thing I've heard over the years for a teaching point with with the hand on the inside zone, I heard it last month actually, was when they get into that, they get that backside hand to the V of the neck, the V of the sternum. They want to turn their thumb out, so you're creating that that V in the arm, and that's that power angle. But I always said, hey, get your thumb up, but it's really, hey, get your thumb out, and now you're really going to lock in that good fit position on the outside zone. So that I do the same progression for both the inside zone and outside zone blocking. I do a couple of different unique things pre-practice wise. So right here, we'll do, I know some of you guys probably do this stuff, hurdles for hips, just get a couple high hurdles, a couple low hurdles, make them sink their booty and step over them, really stretch out their hips. I don't do the foot ladder anymore. I think for linemen, it's garbage. you're teaching guys to stand up straight and on their toes. So I do not do foot ladder anymore. I will do jump rope all day. I think jump rope is unbelievable for guys. I don't call it duck walk anymore, but, demeanor walk. You're going to walk on angles. You're going to walk on cones. You're going to walk forward. You're going to walk backwards. Med ball thrust and chest pass. So I'll get the guys up against the side of the stadium or, the side of a fence, and we're just going to come out of our stance and throw the med ball, and then we're going to come out of our stance and, press that med ball against the board or the stadium, whatever it is. We're going to do get-offs and sets on snap count. And then hand strength stuff, we'll do sand or rice. I'll do a little circuit. So we'll have a couple buckets of rice set up. We'll have a couple PVC pipes set up, and then I'll have some med balls set up. And I'll pull up the med ball stuff, my lacrosse ball set up, and we'll do a circuit. So you got a minute to do 30 overhead squats with the PVC. You got a minute to just grind through doing some hands in the sand. And you got a minute to do your circuit of high knees, butt kicks, shuffle. We do hopscotch. We'll go 2-2-1, 1-1-2, and all we're doing is we have a lacrosse ball in our hands, and we got our hands up, our elbows in, our thumbs are out, and they're just rolling the meatball the whole time. And what you're trying to do is separate your feet and your upper body. So whether they're shuffling, whether they're doing a set, or they're doing something. And we're trying to get their neural pathways to stop being connected. Because we know it. We teach a kid to pass it. First time they take a kick, where their hands go. As soon as their feet move, their hands move. And it's like, all right, well, this is really easy for a defensive lineman. Now they're going to know when they're going to punch. So I stole that from my buddy Steve Siassi at Bryant. And I've loved that stuff ever since. So I think lacrosse balls are awesome. And I think you can do a ton of stuff with those. So like I said, I do a couple different things pre-practice wise than some people, and I love that stuff.
Hey, Coach, going back to what you were saying about the outside zone, where you try to turn that palm basically up,
Yep.
where the thumb's facing out. How do you? I was just trying to, in my head, use that technique on more of a gap block scheme where you're not trying to overtake.
We won't use that on a gap play. That's
Okay.
only for the wide zone.
Only if you're reaching.
Yep, exactly. Yep, that's it. Because we're really not using our front side hand. You know what I mean?
Right.
For gap plays, I'm a big and inside zone covered. My technique for cover guys on gap or inside zone plays is Crowther. Timing step and Crowther. And then if it's a zone play, we're going to take a lateral lead. And if you're the uncovered guy on a gap play, I'm a huge gallop guy. I'm a big Crowther sled guy. I think that's the coolest invention ever. It's been around since the 20s. I think it's like 1922 or 1932, something like that. I think it's the best invention ever. So I will do a ton of Crowther and gallop every day with guys. Strain drill, that's another one. I know some guys have different mindsets or different idea what a strain drill is. For me, we would do a pre-practice or the first period of practice. We got two guys, they put their arms around each other, and then we got an offensive guy, and he's got his hands on both the defender's inside pecs. And again, we're trying to really exaggerate our hands. So I really want the thumbs out, and I want their elbows in tight, and all they're going to do is drive. And the guys that have great hips and great feet, their weights on their insteps, their knees are bent, it's no problem for them. It's the guys that have no core and they have no hip strength. They're the guys that pop straight up and they can't do it. So the strain drill is a really good practice starter to get the juices going. And you're really going to see who's got some core strength and who's got some hip strength. Let me go through here.
Coach, what's your I know for us at the high school level, I'm trying to think of just non-contact, like those first few days of camp when you got the O-line with the only helmets on in Massachusetts is what do you – anything for like, I was trying to think of past that stuff. I know like I'm obviously when I was at AIC, D-line stuff with the PVC. Like have you done any of that stuff with the O-line with the for set and all that type of stuff that you can talk about?
Well, before I got to Albany, I was still training a bunch of kids from Massachusetts, like my O-line school. So that's all it is all non-contact. So, all I'll do is I do a progression of PVC on a knee, on a med ball, out of a stance. So whether it's sets for pass pro, it's really easy. We're going to start with a piece of PVC behind our head, and then we're going to put it on our shoulders behind our head, and then we'll switch when we put it kind of behind our scapular, behind our shoulder blades, and we got to have a good posture. But we'll start with the PVC, and we'll just do one set, one drive set and one power set, and then they'll come back. The next guy will come up, and then that guy PVC will go on a med ball. Onto a knee. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to take another set, and then we'll go again, and he goes from a med ball on a knee, on a knee on the med ball, and then he'll go to a stance. So now you're getting a ton of reps of repetition, and you're really training their feet and their posture. For punch and whatnot, I'm a big med ball guy, and I won't even have the guys hold the med balls. We'll throw the med balls at them. So now they're working on punch timing. Even it's even a little bit harder to work on your punch timing when now you can't predict when the ball is going to get thrown. I'll work on, all right, hey, you got to set to a point, and we'll have the guy throw the ball, or I'll tell the defenders with the ball, hey, throw the ball whenever you want. So, some guys will fly out of there right away and overset, and as that guy throws the ball right away. So you're teaching them, punch patience. You're teaching them how to time their punch, and you're teaching them their striking distance. Run wise, we'll do all our steps off a knee, off a med ball, off a stance, and I'll put cones out to kind of do different landmarks. Like, all right, hey, the third cone is outside zone, the second cone is a down block, the first cone is a drive block. And so now you're still training their feet, you're training their posture, you're training their fit. We're not killing anybody, hitting anybody. But I think that stuff's invaluable, and I know it really helped out those high school kids when I was doing it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
For sure. Let me see here. I got some tape. So right here, this was 2 years ago, but again, these guys all have it. Actually, Como does a really good job here. This guy at the end, you'll see him right here. He does a good job keeping his hands off his chest. Will sucks, the last guy here. Anthony has a good time too, but again, they're just trying to roll the meatball, get their legs separated from their upper body. Tommy, here you go. Tommy's great. That's a kid who's all conference center. He's great.
Going here.
Again, Joe's got to get his eyes up. But again, it's just pre-practice stuff every day. And in spring ball Division III, there's no pads; it blows. And I've done it my whole life. But you have a lot of time to try new things. And this became one of our pre-game and pre-practice stuff. I can talk about that too if anyone wants to talk about pre-game stuff after. Let me go down. This is a strange drill. Where's Garrett? Oh, Tommy's gonna do a good one. There's an example of the strange drill. See, Tommy's a beast. He's got great hips. His weight is all his insteps. His knees are inside his ankles. Garrett's 300 pounds on the left. And I think Jaden's like 250 on the right. And they're not letting him go. I tell the guys, everybody's going to do up downs if you make this easy for your buddy. There's no brother-in-law. So this is a great example of the strange drill.
And you'll use that one padded as well, right? You said
I'll do a padded or non-padded, but that's an everyday. That's a camp killer, man. You want to get your guys in shape in a good way. That is merciful. And what I'll do, I end up doing it like 2 or 3 times in a row. And so now you're simulating, a drive. Before I was doing the drill, and the guys weren't really getting gas, and I was like, all right, well, this is stupid. So if they do it 2 times in a row, great. We'll go on. But if a guy has a crappy second rep or bad effort, we'll make him go a 3rd time. This is a really good drill. I love this drill. It's a pull drill, and we can work 2 pullers at once, and you're getting a lot of things done here. I'm simulating the double team. All right, so I'm the guard and the tackle. And that first puller has got to read, get around me, and the second puller's got to read me. So the tackle's working his pull to the second level. The guard is working his kick out. and then we'll have them switch or have them progress to the tack. It's just the guards, but trying to get a lot of reps in a lot of time. This is a favorite drill of mine. So the center is going to work as back block, guards working as open pull, tackles working as skip pull. So again, this is another good drill just to get reps. You'll see here with the guard, I teach the Crowther on almost everything on the line of scrimmage. I don't teach the Crowther on the second level, but I mean, the Crowther is really easy to teach on trap. If you're trapping to the right, I'm going to use my right shoulder on his right shoulder. And the guy's got to think the first time they do it. But that's Jaden's right shoulder. So if I can get my right shoulder on Jaden's right shoulder, or I know some guys will say upfield shoulder, if I whiff on the block, at least I'm still the defender's still outside. Same thing if I'm trapping left, I'm using my left Crowther on his left shoulder. So just little things like that. Oh my God. Coach Nick, I think I'm like 50 pounds heavier in this video, dude. It's crazy.
You're crushing it, man. You're crushing it with the weight loss. I
am. This is good. What's the word? Reiteration to not get fat again. Fat there, good Lord. This is a good everyday drill we do. We do a pepper drill. Garrett, this is not a good rep by Garrett. Let me get somebody better. Poopy. Where's Tommy? No.
How heavy are those weight balls, Coach?
These ones were like 10. I have at Albany. I have really nice 10-pound soft ones.
Okay.
Like the NFL guys use like 18-pound ones. And I was like, I'm all set with that, dude. This drill is great, and it's good because the guys will get pissed off if they do it wrong. So you're just trying to. All we're doing here is working on punch timing. That's all it is. If they miss, they're going to hit themselves in the nuts. They're going to smack themselves in the face. So this is a great one. Do like 10 each, rotate. That's a really good drill the guys like. They like laying down. I said whatever, fatties. But that was a good one for punch timing. Let me find Tommy. Yeah, here we go. So same pepper drill. And then all my pass drills, guys, just because, what's one of the hardest things for our guys to stop is a good bull rush. Whether it's a pepper drill, whether it's a two-man waterfall drill, something we're working on a power or a drive set. I'm always going to have those drills finished with a bull rush. And I teach pull and push and drive the bull rush. So we're going to try to press the bull rush off us and then drive them away. So you'll see here with Tommy, I do all my pass stuff just because, again, it's really hard to stop a bull rush. And I think the more reps you can get of it, the better. Trying to think what else we got here. Oh, this is the L drill. This is kind of a screwed up L, but what I'll do is I'll give them a pattern before. So, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll be like, all right, Garrett, 1, 3, 2, 4. And now they got to work on changing the direction smoothly, getting to the aim point. This is a really good drill. This could be a every other day one. But, I mean, I got drills for days for guys, whatever you want.
Coach, on the drills thing, our O-line coach wasn't able to get on this tonight, but I know he's going to watch the video. And the thing he was asking about today was inside zone drills. That's the big thing he wanted. How do you teach your inside zone? Do you do covered, uncovered? Do you have a count system?
Nope. So we're covered, uncovered. I actually do both. So that, in a perfect world, the tackle will always be responsible for number 2 play side. Guard and center are responsible for 0 to 1, and then backside, they'll be responsible for -1, -2. And the 0 is always going to be either the nose and an odd or the first A-gap defender play side. That's who the 0 is. So but we're always uncovered with our technique. So let me go here. All right. Yep. So here.
Yeah, you shared big coaching points on inside zone as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. So if we're covered, we're Crowther. It's real simple. Covered Crowther. If I'm uncovered, I am lateral lead. We were working with this spring. This is the first spring I got there. We were working this day actually with a skip pull step on being the uncovered guy, and I love it. It just depends on if you have guys that can do it. But so so right here, we've already gone through our you know, our every day. We've already gone through our run block progression. We've already did our finish drive stuff. And now we're getting into, you know, our 2-on-2 stuff. So again, if I'm covered, I'm Crowther. I'm picking it up, putting down my play side foot. If this guy was tighter on me, so let's say he was what the hell? Let's say he was he's almost head up or a 2-eye. Yeah, this first timing step, I got to be a little bit more lateral because my aiming point is this play side number. That's the covered guy's aiming point. That's what he's got to work on. Make this bigger. All right, but here, his aiming point, the covered guy, he's just going to shave whatever he can because we got a true 3 technique here. So Tommy, I'm covered. I pick it up, put it down. I just called it a Crowther step. I know some guys at Albany we call it a timing step, but I've always just called it a Crowther step. I think the less vocab, the better. So hey, if I'm covered, I'm Crowther, and it's really simple. I'm taking a step of my play side foot. All right, so covered Crowther. And then my coaching point for the Crowther guys is I want the guys we'll watch a video on kettlebell swings, and we want to keep our arm nice and straight. Too many guys will do that chicken wing bullshit and you end up getting shoulder injuries and whatnot. I want my guys to just pretend they're doing a kettlebell swing, keep their arm nice and straight, and eventually that will turn into a chicken wing when they're getting fit into the position. But you know, my coaching point is just, you know, we're going to Crowther step, and then we are taking whatever we can with my kettlebell, whether it's the shoulder or if he was tighter, whether it was the play side number. We want to take whatever we can. My uncovered guy, again, he's working to get the middle of the midline of the defender, and he's working to piggyback on the guard here. On the center here. So let me go through it. So we'll just step the fit. So we'll step the fit. And everything we do, especially in the off season, we're stepping to fit. Garrett's a little too high here. His feet are great. His stance kind of sucks. I'd rather him to be a little bit less staggered, but his steps are awesome. He's just too big. Tommy, I'm fine with 1-2. I love how he gets that second step up the field, trying to knee him in the nuts. You'll see too many guys with the Crowther. They'll take the timing step is supposed to be small. That's great. But your second step on a Crowther, it's got to get vertical. If you don't get a vertical step on your Crowther, you're not bringing your hips. You're not getting anywhere. So you've got to knee him in the nuts in that second step. So I love what Tommy's doing here. All right. And then we'll have him go through the rep. I think Garrett falls on his butt here. So here, I'm fine with this. We're in a good position to overtake. His inside leg, the Crowther guy's inside leg is up. The uncovered guy's leg is back. They're in a good fit position, and he's in a good position to overtake the defender coming off. I got a bunch of these, I think. Yeah. So, a lot of guys will just do a lateral lead, which is fine. But even if you're just doing a lateral lead, you want that his first step on the lateral lead, he wants to go where that Crowther's guy's foot was. That's how you get a good tight hip-to-hip fit. So even if it was lateral lead, or like I said, I like the skip step on the backside of zone because I think you get there a lot faster. It's got to be right here. And again, now we're in a great position. The Crowther guy has popped up the defender, and now the uncovered guy, the guy coming over on the skip step, he's in a good spot to overtake it. And that was Baby Garrett as a freshman right there.
And do you just go through this drill switching the shades up constantly?
I do. So this will be the backside, and if you have another coach, have them work front side, solo blocks. So like for me, our solo blocks, we take a dig step. Inside zone's inside zone for a reason, right? So we're going to take a dig step, and all it is that you're replacing your toe with your heel, toes with your heel on your inside foot to secure that gap, so you don't get beat across your face. And again, your play side hand, so I'm a left tackle. My left hand is going to the middle of the neck. My right hand, my outside hand would be going to the armpit or the bicep, and I'm just blocking half a man. But when I take that dig step, I've at least secured that inside gap, because I mean, inside zone should hit A gap or A gap, you know, depending on what you're teaching. So I'll have a guy. So like in this, Coach McCleary's over on the other side with the left side working solo blocks. I'm on the back side working combos. And like I said, yeah, I'll do a 2, I'll do a 3, I'll have them stunt. I'll put the backer in a different position. But yeah, we'll just work a bunch of different combos and a bunch of different stunts until this is second nature. Outside zone and inside zone were our bread and butter the last couple of years.
Now you said you like the skip step for the backside.
I like the skip step on the backside just because you get there faster. And I mean, if you're a team that runs power and counter, you're already teaching the first 2 steps. You know what I mean? So I love the skip step, and I know some guys don't, because they say that puts the guy at an awkward position. But with the one thing I would critique on all of Garrett's steps is that he was popping, too up too fast. If you know, I'll get some film this year. Hopefully, the Albany guys doing it. I think they'll be a little bit lower, but I think it's just a great way to get in that piggyback position and not have to worry about getting split on your double teams.
Yeah, I've never really worked with that. That would be just first time really thinking about it. I've tried like a skip step for like popping out of your stance for pulls and things like that, without success for me personally using it. But I know a lot of people use it, so I'm just trying to, again, get back in the swing of things here and learn from it. But you like the speed of it. That's what you love.
I like the speed of it, and just like so that it naturally just creates a good fit. So if the guy's taking a good crowther, they should almost always piggyback. You know, if that crowther guy's taking that first 2 good steps, and then the uncovered guy is going to take a good 2 skip steps, you're going to be hip to hip, and you're getting vertical too. It's not just lateral. You're getting vertical, and now you're going to get a good push, and you're going to be hip to hip on the double team.
Okay.
What else am I got?
You got any of the stuff for the outside zone, like you just did for inside zone?
I think I do.
Yeah.
I didn't leave RPI in the best of terms, so I didn't get a lot of my film. Just say that out loud. It's all good. So this is just a get off one. So we previous year, I mean, we outside zone, that sweep play was like kind of what RPI is known for. We wanted to change it up a little bit. So we want to run off the ball more. So everybody has a cone, and as you can see here, their next cone was our aiming point. And what that cone was simulating was essentially the hip of the next defender on the line of scrimmage. So if you were uncovered, you were taking a lead step where you're getting vertical and width with your first step. If you're covered on the outside zone, you're taking a drop step. But it's really not a drop step. You are just going to step to your adjacent lineman's heel. So right here, so this is, left guard. So I'm the left guard right here. This is my right foot. This is my left foot. If I'm the uncovered guy, he's covered on the outside zone here. My first step, I'm stepping to his heel. And then my second step, I'm on a path. I'm chasing my buddy's hip. That's my vision key. If that defender doesn't cross his face after 3 steps, I'm going to climb to the second level. Ooh. If I get here and let's say he's blocking him, but he's kind of coming across, I'm going to bang him and then climb. And then if he stunts over right away, I got to be prepared to overtake that guy and reach him, if that makes sense. But I got a couple of drills. I think I got a couple of double teams. Let me see.
It's huge for. I mean, I got I told you about it. I left AIC, and then I'm the head coach now at the high school I teach at over in Wilbraham, Minnetonka, and the kids on the O-line were used to inside zone being a 45-degree angle step, and so yeah, so
I'm with you, dude.
So they're not as familiar with quality individual, and I got an awesome O-line coach for this upcoming, like joining the staff. So I'm pumped to have great stuff, and actually like productive indie periods and practicing stuff.
No doubt, dude.
Yeah,
I was talking about the guy today. I was like, if I get a teaching gig, I would probably go to high school in a second, just because I want to develop youth guys more. I just don't have a teaching cert. I was talking to my buddies about it today. But again, do this drill a billion times. Let me see. I don't know if I have any combo ones. This isn't good, but you'll get the premise of it. So this is the drill we talked about where I'm either gonna make the defender get reached or fight across. Tommy's second step is great. He doesn't overextend. His first step is great. Second step is great. Now I just want him to press, and he starts to get towards it. I want him just to make that decision sooner. So it's Tommy's 62 right here. Garrett is bad. This is a good example of what not to do. Look at Garrett cross. Garrett crosses over there, 79. He crosses over, and now he's done for. Tommy does a good job of not crossing over, and he can reach that guy. Over here. This is one where the defender's left too early, but Jacob does a great job chasing the guy down, 64 here. And his steps are awesome. He gains ground with both of them. That defender's wide. He sees that he's fighting right away, so Jacob just runs off the ball. I love that. Hayden is the left tackle here. He's just reaching with his hands too early. That's why he's so slow. But even Hayden's first two steps are pretty good. And he does a good job recovering, but we never want to reach. My biggest thing whether it goes back to the run block progression or fit drive progression, whatever we do, I'm telling my guys, we don't holster anymore. I haven't taught holster in a while, so I know a lot of guys teach a holster, hand your hips. I'm telling my guys we want our hands to our belly button or our hands to our nuts, because now our hands are in front of us, and it's a lot shorter distance to strike, and we're not going to give up our chest. When I played in high school, it was a hands to your holsters, hands to your holsters. But what are you doing? You're bending over and you're giving your chest. So I tell the guys either hands to your belly button on your first step or hands to your nuts on your first step, whatever they feel more comfortable with learning. I think that's a huge thing that's helped me over the last couple of years. This is good. This is a good rip by Tommy again. So now he can't reach Jalen. So now he's going to throw that inside hand. Jalen does a crappy job of holding the bag, but I love how he torques his inside hand through. And the good thing with Tommy, again, like I said, his second step isn't too big. Garrett's second step here is better. He doesn't cross over as much. But, again, you just know the difference between two of them. He's on his aiming point. He can't reach him. Now I'm going to throw in that after a three-step decision. The biggest thing with that wide zone is your tailback has got to be on the same page. He's got to trust it and make a three-step decision at the same time the O-line is. That's the biggest thing with that outside zone. And that's probably the hardest thing to teach is to get the skinny kids to trust the fat kids with that play. I think that's all I have for the outside zone stuff. For Crowther, the Crowther sled is your best friend. If you don't have a Crowther sled, use some med balls again and just have them do the same progression. Have them step into the fit of the Crowther, have them step into the fit of the Crowther, and then just have them drive out of the Crowther. They want to keep that inside leg up the whole time. They're driving off their back foot. So if they're Crowthering with their right shoulder, they're driving off their left foot. If they're Crowthering with their left shoulder, they're driving off their right foot. And then the same thing with the gallop. I teach the kids the gallop is a three-legged race. Your aiming point on the gallop is the near hip of the defender. That Crowther guy is popping up the defender, and that gallop guy is here to throw him out of the club. Knock him over into your lap and climb onto the second level. And I just started teaching those 2 years ago, and I will never teach anything else again for gap scheme double teams. But yeah, I'll fix it up with the list up. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I'm all ears. I'm a big proponent too. When you play against odd teams, start with fan protection. Fan will clean up about 90% of any stunts or blitzes. And then if you can find out where the defense is going to blitz from, then you can go to a 4-man slide and whatnot. But I'm a huge proponent of fan protection. If anyone wants to talk about fan protection.
I'll listen to what you got to say about it. I'm just
Yeah, same. I was muted. I was like,
just
yeah,
bring it on.
Yeah, I'm just squinting at the list.
All right. So I'll go through my rules. I learned this at Curry actually, and this is what the Pats used to do. So I was like, oh, must work pretty good. So the way I did my pass pro at RPI was by fronts. So if we had a 3-4 and there was no true apex player, we just go big on big. We'd all inside set, just so everything was inside out. If we knew it was a 50 or a 60, we had an apex player, we knew there was gonna be 5. We were gonna fan to start off with. If we was a 4 down, we were gonna go man slide. And a lot of teams like Scott did a great job at WPI, disguising a lot of his stuff. If we could figure out when it was, a 4 down, a 3 down coming into a 4 down, we would change to a man slide. And then if we had a team that wanted to just bring the house all the time, like Brockport in the playoffs a couple years ago, we didn't do 6 or 7. We didn't do 7-man slide or 6-man full slide all year until Brockport, and we ate them all up with that. So just those rules, having a center that's smart is huge, and having a kid that can handle it is huge. So I mean, this is our protection rules. So fan protection again, our three sets, we're going to post inside shade. Our 0 set is we have a 4-eye or a tight 3 or a 0. That's, we're just going to gain depth. So most of the time that's your center, or, the tackles against a tight front. We're going to just set for depth. We're going to go 1-2, and we're going to try to stay on our aiming point. And then I don't use the word kick. I'm a big Charles Bentley guy. I'm a big drive catch guy. So if we're going to take an outside set, that's a drive set. We're driving off our inside leg and catching with our outside leg. But this is it right here. This is pretty much plain and simple. This is what we did at RPI for 2 years, and what I'll do when I have my own room again. It doesn't matter whether it's a tight front, a stack. The running back's only responsible for one guy, because we're gonna fan it. And if you get to you'll see here in the tight, the stack, it's the same thing. There's still 5 for 5, on the O-line. The tailback will be mic'd to whatever else. Probably here will be mic'd to the buck on the tight picture. And again, probably tight mic'd to the buck on the stack picture. On a true Okie, you got those 2 inside backers. Now the tailback's responsible for both those guys. When your guards get really good and they get experienced and over reps, your guard can kind of make a call on the fly. Let's say the picture of the Okie here. Let's say that buck drop. Let's say that buck's not capped by the safety. He'll just say, hey, Liz, or Lake, and now we're going to turn it into a 4-man slide. And as soon as the tailback hears Lake, he knows he's responsible now for the mo and the buck instead of the Mike and the mo. But I mean, that comes with experience and reps. I'm a huge less is more guy when it comes to verbiage. So I mean, literally, we'll have a fan call, we'll have a man to the left call, we'll have a man to the right call, and then we'll have a full slide call. And then down the bottom too, again, it's an even front. Let's say they walk up that boundary backer, the buck there, they're walking him up. All right, great. Hey, we're gonna go blade. And even though it's a 4 down, we know as an offensive line, we're responsible for the 5 rushers there. So now we're going 5 for 5. And the tailback, he hears blade. Tailback, it's easy for him too. Hey, I know I'm responsible for the 2 inside backers. So I mean, I think this is great, and I know a lot of teams. St. Lawrence really screwed us up. I lost 2 starters in pregame at St. Lawrence to back problems, and I started a freshman center and a freshman guard, and St. Lawrence stemmed the entire game, and it really screwed us up because there was an inexperienced center, and he would stick with the previous call and not change it. So for the defensive coaches in here, stemming the front is a bitch. But I mean, if you have a good experienced center and a defense stems the front, and they can make a call, or you have your guys where they can adjust to their rules on the fly. That's when you have success. And I mean, that's what we had 2 years ago at RPI, 3 seniors and 2 young bucks. But yeah, no, this is my fan protection against the odd. And I can send this to you, Coach. I have no problem sharing any of this stuff.
That'd be awesome, yeah. Because I know, like I said earlier, I mean, for our guys and just in some of the drill stuff is huge, Yep. So, anything else?
What
What are you using there, by the way, Bobby? Are you using Visio? What are you using at all?
So that stuff there is Visio, and I just
Yeah.
screenshotted it and put it into a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never used Visio until a month ago, and now I love it.
Hey, AIC finally clipped mine, man. I've been gone for a year and a half, and my computer had to reset it. And when it reset, they freaking pulled Visio off. They must be saving money now with all the COVID-19.
Without a doubt. It's funny. But no, I appreciate you guys. This is awesome.
I appreciate you doing this for us.
No problem. Good.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and I definitely would love the copy of the drills and stuff.
Yep. No. Yeah. I'll send all this stuff. I'll make a little zip folder either tonight, or tomorrow. I'll give it to Will.
Sorry.
No, it'd be awesome, Coach. If you could do some sort of folder like that, and then even some of those. If you don't mind sharing the RPI, some of that film. I know that's a pain to do unless we zip. Yeah.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad if you just condense it. It's all good. I'll do that.
That's awesome.
Would it be possible to just see some of the drive block progression stuff if you what you did maybe do for drills or again, I just like to see all the different things everybody does and
without a doubt, man.
Now, did you play at Worcester?
I did. I did. I had quite the journey. I went to Southern Connecticut and then Pittsburgh for 2 years, and Coach Haverty got fired or he resigned. And I played for McGonagall for 2 years, and then I just didn't want to be there anymore, so I transferred back home. I'm born and raised in Leicester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Devin Gates.
Oh yeah, that's good. Devin's my guy. He's one of my mentors.
I was we played football together in high school.
Okay.
Good friends.
No doubt. That's my dude.
Bobby, did you play with Jim Fultz?
Yeah, man. He's freaking got like throat cancer right now, dude.
Yeah. We're gonna send him a video. He's got a big surgery on Tuesday, but if you're interested in getting in on that, I can kind of fill you in later.
Definitely, Scott. That'd be awesome. Yeah. When I transferred in, that was Fultz and I were the tackles for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny. I was the same age as those guys, but they were seniors when I was a sophomore, just because of prep school and red shirting. Yeah. So this is every day. So again, we're always going to start with step into the fit. Centers always got to snap. I don't get when centers don't snap. It literally makes me so mad. I try to do it on the line. I don't have these short boards anymore. I'm going to try to get some towels, but I try to do it on the line so they're getting vertical on their first step. And again, that first step's not big, but they just got to replace their toes with their heels. And that second step or the third step or second step, depending on how tall the guy is, it's got to be, in the nuts. I love all of them. All of them have great hands. Hayden's a little too low to high, but what's this kid's name? Oh my God, I'm so bad. I love this kid. Jacob Grant. He was the oldest kid here. Jacob's a great fit here. Elbows in, thumbs up. Tommy is elbows in, thumbs up, and that's what we want. So early on, we'll do this twice. We're gonna take the step to fit twice. And you see the ball holders too. Those guys are key. I know I'm preaching the choir, but like Como here, this kid is literally going to be president of the United States someday. If I told him to do something, he'd be like, yes, sir, yes, sir. But like he's the best ball holder right here, giving Jacob a good base. The thing I hate about Jacob is his eyes are down, and I got to do a better job of that. Same thing with Tommy too. I don't know why they put their eyes down, but that's one thing I'm wicked cognizant of now is teaching eyes. But yeah, so we'll do step to the fit twice, and then we're gonna finish. And all I'm looking for, Tommy's doing a great job. I don't want to get extension. I just want to stay. My arms want to be bent. I want to have a nice strong base. I want to stay nice and low. I want to have my weight on my insteps, on my knees, inside my ankles. That was a great rep right there.
Now you said you've thrown down towels instead of boards when you haven't had them. Is that?
Yep. And I won't even use the big boards anymore. I love boards, but I don't think you need them anymore. The guys don't have a base; they're just going to fall anyways. But yeah, so make this bigger. I'm trying to make this bigger. So like if I don't have this board here, this big board here, I'll take 2 towels, right? And I just tape them in like an X or a cross, so that there'll be a towel that's taped like this. So
Okay.
now the same thing, you could have them. All right, if they got to take a lateral lead step, they're trying to get their right foot to this corner. You know what I mean? If they got to take a drive block step, they might actually stay, you know, in the defender. I'll put the defender on this side completely of the towel. Now they're going to take a dig step with their right foot vertical and, you know, and drive them that way. Same thing. We're working on our outside zone. We're working on our outside zone steps. All right, so we tell them, hey, you are taking a, you know, your lead step. Their first step is going to be in this area with their front foot, you know. So I think that's huge. I got that from the Texans O-line coach a couple years ago. So if you don't have boards, just take a couple crappy towels, you know, like 13, 14-inch towels, and just tape them into a X or a square.
Okay.
This is the progression before. So this is where we'll start. We start in the fit. So this is before what we just watched. So we'll start in the fit. Or actually, no, we did this one after. Either way, but it's just a fit weave, and like so, Tommy's doing a great job. He feels Jalen go to his left. Now I got to lead in my left foot. Lead my left foot. Jalen goes to the right. I got to lead my right foot. Garrett's all over the place. 62 is doing a great job. Jacob just doing how he played. He just also there's a great job. So you're always fighting pressure with pressure. You know, you want to try to switch your lead up if you can. So that would be, you could do that before or after, but that was a great drill for us. Just to, you know.
When you're in a fit position, do you concentrate on the drive?
So
like stutter step. I know some people used to coach up, but then there's studies that show coaching up the stutter step actually slows them down. I forget where I'd heard that. I don't know if Sperone mentioned that or someone mentioned that.
No, so with their steps, I told them I don't want huge steps. I just want them to be able to have their toes in the ground, their cleats in the ground, and especially in this drill, you got to get vertical because like Garrett here, Garrett's more worried about covering them up, right? You see the difference between 79 and 62. Garrett's more pitter patter. You know, in a real game, he's not moving anybody. Where Tommy, if he's in a real game and he does that feat, he's fine. You know?
But that's why I ask, the gentleman number 62, if you look at his left foot, that almost like goes backwards.
Yeah, no, and I'm fine with that because I want him to be able to lead, drive off that foot. So if he's getting pushed from the left, he's got to drive off that left foot.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, switching his base up.
Okay.
Strain.
I actually like the idea of the strain drill.
Yeah, it's a mother. It sucks. Here's some Crowther too. See if it's any good. Oh, that's bad.
How many toys do you got at Albany, Bobby?
We don't have much, dude. We don't need much. Coach Sweeney is very old school. He played in the NFL for 16 years. So we just got some bags, some med balls. I brought my lacrosse balls, and he loves that. And I got some PVC pipe. And we have a couple tech sleds. We don't have a Crowther, which I hope we'll get one next year. So here's a good, really good. If you look at Hunter Garrett here, this is a great job with his first 2 steps. Timing step, boom, brings it through, and that's a great job keeping his arm flat. And this kid's just a hard worker. He went from not playing at all until he started like 3 games this past year. He's a great kid, but that's a great job. So what we'll do before, obviously, again, so we would start with step into the fit, step into the fit, step to the fit, and then we're going to drive. And the only thing I don't like about with Garrett there is that I want him to keep that high knee up the whole time, and it should almost look like he's skipping or driving off that back foot. That's what I want. I don't want him to run. Yeah, Como, I love the kid. That's not a good rep. This isn't bad by Jacob and Tommy. The same thing with them. I want them to both keep that inside leg up. That's the only thing. but I love how they roll their hips through. Jacob's got a great fit here. You know, he starts with his arms straight. You'll see freeze frame. He starts with his arms straight. Then he gets into a great fit and he pops his hips. It's great. And then we would add on the backers to that drill too. You know, spring ball Division III. You got a lot of Indies and O-line coach. But that's all I really got for different drills for drill tape.
That's good stuff, Coach.
But yeah, no, I'll make a little folder. I'll put this out to you guys.
Appreciate it.
No doubt.
No, I appreciate it, Coach. That was freaking for me. I mean, I trying to bring stuff in, like you said, and like we got, similar to your line school, we got kind of an Excel thing out here, and it's like trying to bring good, good quality, obviously non-padded drills to these kids in December and January, and obviously, getting out there. So appreciate it.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, thank you for the information.
Yep. Yeah, I'll make sure I'll put my contact information to the email to Nick too. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to hit me up or anything. And like I said, I'm not an expert. I just know what I know.
I appreciate it, Coach.
All right, guys. Yeah, well, I'll get to that tomorrow. Probably tomorrow.
No rush. Yeah, no rush, man. I mean, that's awesome, man. That stuff's like ideal for. I know, like you didn't coach that Eric's O-line coach at Central was he 66 right before you came? Lockett.
Okay.
Big guard with all those, that good old line with Marisma and all those, and George and all that stuff. He was the young kid there. So they've got a good one there. And then we got a good, awesome guy, Minichod now. So excited to bring some stuff back to this show.
Do you hear like Vahandi got into like marijuana crops or something?
Yeah, I know, huh? I mean, like, yeah, he's all over the place, man. He's
making money, man.
He could be the mayor of Waltham if he wanted to be, but
no doubt, he's making that money.
It's essential business.
Yeah. Essential services, right?
Don't you love that? There's people in prison for it still to this day, and it's an essential business during quarantine.
Funny. Scott, I'm going to send you my number if you want to text me. Let's see. All right, guys.
How's the recruiting stuff going right now, Bobby?
I mean, it's all online, dude. And based off game film stuff. I mean, and with me, it's